By April 2018, Top Pictures have scored over $2 billion gross. The Fate of the Furious scores $1.24 billion, starting from Simon Bolivar Street, corner of El Corrito Park. The movie opens back at the roots of the franchise with an undeniably gripping, crazy car race. Dom has challenged local loan shark Waldo to a street race to settle a debt. They chase from Old Havana past the Capitolio through several central avenues. Dom drives an old 1950s Chevrolet Fleetline with the hood stripped away. He has bet his 61 Chevy Impala against Waldo's 56 Ford Fairlane Crown Victoria. These amazing action sequences stretch credulity with wildly improbable phenomena. Dom's turbo vacuum line is jammed open to create a makeshift unregulated boost control, and with the addition of a nitrous oxide system, Dom's engine sparks a flame and fire spreads and begins to rage. This is Dom and Letty's honeymoon, but this sport provides more extreme excitement. The blaze has gotten too intense, so Dom turns into reverse to let the heat blow behind him. He races backwards along the legendary Malecon, running parallel to the sea. Somehow, he survives the fireball and crosses the finish line first, but has to avoid spectators and exit the car, ultimately writing it off spectacularly. Fast 8 is one of the first US movies to film on this Caribbean island since the revolution in 1953. Dom's fans all cheer, and the children hero worship him. Another amazing scene is the prison break riot involving Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, which led to the spin-off Hobbs and Shaw. There's some great fighting techniques and acrobatic feats. The director, Gary Gray, was the one who directed Straight Outta Compton, and he has convincingly fast and brutal-looking fight choreography here. There's plenty of serious stunt work going on. Viewers shouldn't want to experience the inside of a place like this firsthand anyway. Using rubber bullets only make Luke Hobbs even madder and more angry. He's got to be the invincible giant that cannot be subdued. The violence unleashed is predictable, expected, and sustained, not at all surprising. It's typical movie formula for wild audience satisfaction. What will be the ultimate takeaway from this? Determination and stamina can prevail. Never give in, never let up. Don't let your guard down. Don't stop till you get in. Incarceration is certainly not for a man who must be free. In the next clip, the gang has to team up 4 cars against Dom to try to lock him down. There's a cinematic shot of New York City. Cars are made to fall from office windows to the street. Becca Shaw has a gun battle and scraps roughly with some enemy agents, but he must also keep the baby safe while still combating the hostile, threatening fighters, all while flying on board a luxury jet plane, which he nonetheless proceeds to trash in the process of defeating his opponents, who just can't seem to let up. The baby is a comic foil to the violence, which, though extreme, takes on a slapstick air. Changing scene, the icy plains off the Arctic Barents Sea. A mysterious woman has seduced Dom into a world of crime he can't seem to escape, and betrayal of those closest to him. They face trials that test them as never before. Charlize Theron is too pretty to be that sick, but she fires a heat-seeking missile at the team, so they must be a formidable elite force to stop the anarchist called Cypher from unleashing chaos on the world stage. And Dom leads it to follow him away from his pack. He is now at peak fury and ready to lunge his ultimate bid to turn the missile around against the computer hacker Cypher. It's obviously hugely risky and takes immense skill and last-ditch determination, but he is firmly resolved, even if it kills him, to destroy his evil enemy. How can Dom survive this stunt? So much fire, so much heat. Is there salvation? As before, he leaps clear of his burning vehicle. A massive explosion, but his friends surround and protect him. Don't try this at home, folks, only in the movies. While Star Wars The Last Jedi was the highest grossing film of 2017, worldwide $1.33 billion. Reviewers praise its innovative storytelling, stunning visuals, and complex character arcs, predominantly those of Rey and Kylo Ren. Jedi Master in hiding Luke Skywalker unwillingly attempts to guide young hopeful Rey, whose parentage supposedly makes her a nobody, but who nonetheless develops her abilities learning the ways of the Force. The portrayal of Luke Skywalker as a cynical hermit disrupts his heroic legacy and subverts established lore. Apparently, he is uncle to Kylo Ren, who was born and raised as Ben Solo, son of Leia Organa and Han Solo. Luke trained the boy in the Force before he was seduced to the dark side like Darth Vader, who, as Leia's father, was his grandfather. Luke confesses that he momentarily contemplated killing Ben upon sensing that Snoke was corrupting him. Supreme Leader of the First Order Snoke did deceive Ben about Darth Vader, who actually, for love of his son, killed Emperor Palpatine, so was redeemed back to the light side as Anakin Skywalker, Jedi Knight. Under misinformed temptation, Kylo Ren turned against the Jedi, slaying all of Luke's acolytes, and became a follower of the cult of the Knights of Ren. Leia, former princess turned general, attempts to lead what is left of the resistance away from the ruthless, tyrannical grip of the First Order to prepare for battle against them. March 2018, Avengers Infinity War with Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Benedict Cumberbatch as Dr. Stephen Strange, Paul Bettany as Vision, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. The Avengers and their allies have continued to protect the world from threats too large for any one hero to handle. A new danger has emerged from the cosmic shadows, requiring the largest massing of Avengers to date, including Tom Holland as Peter Parker, Spider-Man, among many others. Everything the Avengers have fought for has led up to this moment. The fate of Earth and existence has never been more uncertain. Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston, is no match for Thanos, a despot of intergalactic infamy, whose goal is to collect all 6 Infinity Stones, artifacts of unimaginable power, and use them to inflict his twisted will on all of reality. The late, great Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, Black Panther, Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, Captain America. The Avengers and their allies must be willing to sacrifice all in an attempt to defeat the powerful Thanos before his blitz of devastation and ruin puts an end to the universe. Thanos seems to steal the show, as the plot is entirely driven by his menace. He looms larger than any of the heroes. Thanos is the greatest villain the MCU has ever produced. He threatens and plans to eliminate half the universe's population. In most of these movies, you're always sure the hero will win, but here you can't be too certain. This is edge of your seat, nail-biting tension through the entire picture over whether your favorite characters will actually make it out alive. Considered to be a superior Avengers sequel, this film does constitute an immense achievement. Some bantering, arrogant humor from Chris Pratt as Peter Quill's Star-Lord. Perhaps more than all the other Marvel movies, this has to be praised for bringing 20-odd famous hero characters and putting them in a cohesive narrative that's unlike anything that came before it. Predominantly, the movie is dark. Thanos' motivation is so powerful, he's even ready to sacrifice his own daughter for it. He has fought for many years to find the Infinity Stones, and there's no way that he will sacrifice his lifetime's work over morals or ethics. Concepts like humanity, empathy, conscience don't hold him back anymore, as he was brought up by the Eternals, and in spite of being treated as one of them, he chose to part ways. Mortals don't matter to him, his ambition does. June 2018, Incredibles 2. The Incredibles family face a major setback as their special heroism is rendered illegal by law. The family argues over the dinner table about the unfairness of the law disrespecting them. However, the wealthy Mr. Dever of DevTech offers new hope with a bold project to rehabilitate the public image and legal status of supers. Why is he being so generous? He says, "We are partners now," and moves them into a prime luxury home with every kind of modern appliance installation beyond imagining. Very much more fitting for their powers than any ordinary motel. According to Darren Furnich in Entertainment Weekly, Brad Bird has made the weirdest Pixar movie ever. Revolutionary and retro, an anti-authoritarian ode to good parenting. With a strong script and direction, this animated adventure is elevated to new heights. It is paradoxically a sweet family story where the Parr family are willing to work together in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. Brian Truitt in USA Today says the animation is stellar and detailed in excellent action sequences. Michael Giacchino's score swings harder than ever, and the film's family-friendly warmth is just as appealing in this sequel. At 1 hour 58 minutes, it was the longest Pixar and computer animated feature until Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse in 2023. The budget was estimated at $200 million, and the worldwide gross was $1.24 billion. November 2018, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom on Isla Nublar, a dormant volcano spewing ash and has hot molten lava bubbling up. The news is broadcast. Do dinosaurs have rights, or should they return to extinction? A conference is held with Ian Malcolm, a chaos theory mathematician who predicts man-made cataclysmic change. 3 years after the Jurassic World theme park was closed down, Claire picks up this story, realizing this new existential threat to the dinosaurs. Incredibly, though, it seems she wants to find out how she can save the dinosaurs. She goes to Sir Benjamin Lockwood's estate in California, the billionaire former partner of John Alfred Hammond. She meets his estate manager, Eli Mills. He gives her a tour of their own natural history museum with dinosaur skeletons. He proposes a new dinosaur sanctuary to transfer the endangered ones to safety. There's a nostalgic meeting with Sir Ben. Eli is very proactive and highly skilled. His whole big desktop is a computer smart screen. Saving dinosaurs is not his sole purpose. He singles out Blue as being the second most intelligent animal on this planet. Owen Grady trained that creature, so he must be co-opted for a return adventure. Bryce Dallas Howard hooks up with Chris Pratt again for the big screen sequel. The crazy dinosaur trainer is back on board for another wild trip. Upon landing on the island, Claire meets Ken Wheatley. She introduces Owen to this mercenary who wants to capture Blue, profiting from serving Eli Mills. They have to hurry along to beat that volcanic deadline. There's a clash of motivations. There's fleet of resilient heavy-duty vehicles and specialized holding cages provided by Lockwood Money. Ted Levine is playing a cruel, greedy character who will get a nasty comeuppance when trying to capture prize trophies like teeth from the dinosaurs. The team encounter a massively huge brontosaurus, but those are vegetarian and won't be seeking human meat. Owen tracks Blue and radios to his team. International Genetic Technologies has a very persistent, motivated team that scandalously fails to prioritize public and personnel safety above greed. De-extinction is made more efficient by American geneticist Dr. Henry Wu, who is hybridizing modern animals with the ancient DNA samples. Masrani Global Corporation has Wheatley pursuing capture of putatively intelligent dinosaurs created after the repeal of the Gene Guard Act. Charged to protect the animals from poachers, he aims to profit. Simon Masrani wanted bigger, scarier, cooler dinosaurs, so Wu was glad to oblige. There was not always agreement of what was best for the project, and controls were not absolute. Military bioengineering efforts were initiated by Vic Hoskins. Clearly, this series is a big money spinner, maintaining the grandiose scale of this amazing wow factor of seeing realistically animated dinosaurs in thrilling action sequences with panic and abject terror of human protagonists struggling to survive and get away. The sexy heroine, who founded the Dinosaur Protection Group, is ironically paralyzed with fear and hopes her ex-Navy colleague can save her and her web technology specialist colleague Franklin Webb. But a big monster battle wins the day. Now, could this be a friendly dinosaur rescuing them from an evil one? There is such a grand, crazy scene of mayhem as many different kinds of creatures are fleeing from smoke, pumice, and clouds of debris coming from the active volcanic eruptions. This grand design has its audiences. That's all for now. Check back next week. Leave smart comments below.